The United States should return to a gold standard because the current economic system is a fiat currency which has devalued our economy, costing numerous billions of dollars on wars that were not necessary. Historical evidence indicates that a gold standard puts limits on government's power by restricting the ability to print money at will and increase the national debt. A gold standard would force the United States to reduce its military and defense spending and could prevent unnecessary wars, such as the nuclear bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. American paper money is a fiat currency that can be printed without limit and has no real value. Its value is only maintained by the full faith and credit of the government compared to a gold standard is a monetary system which is the standard economic unit of account, is based on a fixed quantity of gold. The gold standard was a basis of fixed quantity of gold. The gold standard was the basis for the international monetary system in American history. Gold, silver, palladium, and copper all have tangible value. Every one of these elements is present in your everyday life. For example, a typical iPhone is estimated to house around 0.034 grams of gold, 0.34 grams of silver, 0.015 grams of palladium, and 5 ounces of copper. That is more than all metals in your phone. According to Ron Paul, former U.S. Representative of Texas, fiat money enables government to maintain an easy war policy. To be truly opposed to preemptive and unnecessary wars, one must advocate sound money to prevent the promoters of war from financing their imperialism. Our current money system allows the Federal Reserve to finance large trade deficits by printing money. Since abandoning the gold standard in 1971, the United States has had the highest trade deficits in the world has ever seen, reaching as high as $758 billion in 2006. A gold standard puts limits on government power by restricting the ability to print money at will and increase the national debt. Prior to the United States abandoning the gold standard, the real median income for men rose of an average 2.7 per year between 1950 and 1968. Between leaving the gold standard in 1971 and 2011, the average median income for men only increased to 0.2 per year. The ability of the Federal Reserve to print money not backed by a physical commodity such as gold, and maintain easy credit by keeping interest rates too low from 2001 to 2006 was a significant cause of the real estate bubble, which led to the 2008 Great Recession. The response to the recession has been more of what caused it in the first place: printing more money. Over $2 trillion in bailouts for failed financial institutions was paid for with taxpayers' money from the Federal Reserve, setting the stage from another possible bubble and collapse. The combination of not only a lower median income for men, but also lower rates from 2001 to 2006 was a significant cause of the real estate bubble. A lower income meant that fewer Americans could pay their debts, and as a result, interest rates were artificially held low. With a fiat currency, the government can essentially manufacture money out of thin air. Since leaving the gold standard in 1971, U.S. currency in circulation increased from 48.6 billion to over 5.2 trillion in June 2020. That is about a 10.6% increase over 32 years. A gold standard would force the United States to reduce its military spending and defense spending that could prevent unnecessary wars. Extermination of ethnic, national, religious, racial groups, in part or in whole, constitutes genocide. If you were to support the Federal Reserve System, you would, in part, be supporting nuclear genocide and perpetual warfare. The government's ability to print fiat paper money without limit allows it to fund a massive global defense establishment, a military-industrial complex that is estimated to be over 800 bases in 80 or more countries and has operational ground troop presence in at least 15 countries. The U.S. defense budget was $7.38 billion for 2020. In 2019, defense spending was $732 billion, or about 38% of global defense spending, and almost as much as the next 10 countries' defense spending combined. On August 6th and 9th of 1945, the United States detonated 2 atomic bombs over the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, respectively. The bombings killed between 129,000 and 226,000 people, most of whom were civilians. Over 355,000 Japanese people were killed. People who support the system in part support systematic genocide. Genocide is not okay, even if it is legal or profitable. If we continue to allow our government to continue using fiat currency, we can see more warfare. The United States spent more than all other nuclear-armed states combined, a staggering $43.7 billion. The United States should return to a gold standard because this level of spending would not be possible if the United States returned to a full gold standard. This fiat currency has devalued our economy, costing numerous billions of dollars on war that were not necessary. Japan and China want the value of the US dollar to be higher than their own currencies. But as Ron Paul noted, debt of this sort always ends by the currency of the debtor nation decreasing in value. And that's what has started to happen with the dollar. Although it has been a long way to go, our free lunch cannot last. Printing money, buying foreign products, and selling foreign holders of dollars, our debt ends when our foreign holders of this debt become concerned with the dollar's future. Our current fiat money system allows the Federal Reserve to finance large trade deficits by printing money. Since abandoning the gold standard in 1971, the United States has had the highest trade deficits the world has ever seen, reaching as high as $758 billion in 2006. Since gold is a finite natural material and must be mined and processed at a significant cost, it tends to be produced at levels consistent with demand. Under the gold standard, creating more currency requires obtaining more gold, which raises gold's market price and stimulates increased mining. More gold is then used to back more money until a point when currency levels are adequate. The price of gold levels out, and mining is scaled back accordingly. It is a self-regulating system. However, under a fiat money system, the production of money has no self-regulation mechanism. According to Ron Paul, fiat money enables government to maintain an easy war policy. To be truly opposed to preemptive and unnecessary wars, one must advocate sound money to prevent the promoters of war from financing their imperialism. And like Ron Paul suggests, I call on all Americans to call their congressmen to ask them if they would support ending the Federal Reserve.